We're going live in 3, 2, 1. Good evening and good morning. You're listening to the Midnight Radio Podcast, a show for those lurking in the after hours or whenever you're listening to, bringing in insights, sharing new music from friends, and the up-and-coming creative trends going around my blog. The weather in Penang, Malaysia is actually a rainy night. Usually, Chinese New Year brings in scorching sun, but we've actually had downpours and traffic jams and mini floods in Penang. So, back in London, tell me how the weather is. I saw that it was snowing a few weeks back. You guys are super lucky. I do miss the cold, but it is quite cooling in Penang, so I'm not complaining right now. It's been more than a year, folks, since we filmed this episode, and I'm so sorry for delaying the filming. What can I say? 2023 and 2024 was rough. Nonetheless, if you're new here, here's the rundown. We all have creative juices flowing after midnight. Put this show on while you do work or in the background, because this is going to be your safe space of calm. The show is broken down in 3 sections. The first is an intro, which you're listening to now, ending with a cover or an original song by one of the many talented friends around me, or perhaps with me. The second middle section will focus on the topic at hand with another song to wrap up before finishing up with some market research questions from Instagram from you guys, polls, or things I've been enjoying lately / what's going on in the creative world. So buckle up, as today we're featuring my very talented dear bestie from Paris, Marianne, with her song, Your Side of the Bed, now out on Spotify and other streaming platforms.
I'm not one for big speeches, it's not my style. I just type and delete it, 3 dots, no lines, and I've got you in pieces, trying to read my mind. So for once I'll be cliche, I'll try. 'Cause I love the way you smile to say good morning, and I know that there's a lot that's left unsaid. But if loving is a gamble, then you're my only bet. Hope you never give up your side of the bed. Now it's out in the open, we don't have to hide. Public displays of emotion, you're in every song I write. And I don't let my guard down, once bitten, twice shy. Hitting the compromise, I'll try. 'Cause I love the way you smile to say good morning, and I know that there's a lot that's left unsaid. But if loving is a gamble, then you're my only bet. Hope you never give up your side of the bed. Your side of the bed. 5 cards, straight flush, cards down, gold rush. You raise, I go, you drop, I fold. 5 cards, straight flush, cards down, gold rush. You raise, I go, you drop, I fold. 'Cause I love the way you smile to say good morning, and I know that there's a lot that's left unsaid. But if loving is a gamble, then you're my only bet. Hope you never give up your side of the bed.
Welcome back. I hoped you liked that song because I think that this girl is a genius. The way she writes her lyrics just, I don't know, paints pictures. Like that specific line, I hope you never give up your side of the bed. Oh, the feels. Fun fact, when I was in Paris last year, When I was in Paris last year, I was helping Marianne with some social media ideas, and we actually interviewed strangers in the streets of Paris and filmed their reactions. So check that out on TikTok, which is not banned anymore, I heard. Welcome back, Americans. Though Commonwealth TikTok, let's still try to keep it alive. Meanwhile, my cat is on my desk, so Lena, you wanna say hi? Today we'll be talking about 24 lessons I've learned in 2024. And dang, it has been such a year. I think last year was the year where I looked inward the most. I was changing as a person and felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere anymore. Perhaps that just means I'm growing up. Yes, it's the dreaded quarter life crisis at 25 years old, but when I turned 26 last year, I think I have a bit more clarity now. So, let's get into it. Lesson number 1. People will change, and you should allow them to change. As humans, we are all affected by our situations, people, family, backgrounds, progress in life, etc., etc. The only constant thing about life is change. Thus, it's normal if your, let's say, childhood bestie suddenly is different and not the same anymore. Maybe you can't connect. Well, that's really sad, and I mourned how we used to be. I have to accept that they've changed as a person, and they are allowed to. People are allowed to change, and you can still hold a lot of love for them from a distance, despite your friendship being a sort of different dynamic now. Lesson number 2. Don't try to change someone. Accept them for who they are and how they show up, because if not, you would drain your own energy. You also have to accept that just because you invest so much into a friendship or relationship, sometimes your minimum is someone's maximum. You just can't expect too much out of others, even though you would show up more for them. So just take a step back and find your people. Need I say more? Lesson number 3. Emotional controllability and self-control is the number 1 superpower in this modern world. Learn to control your emotions and don't act upon them. Lesson number 4. True friends accept all versions of you. I've been reflecting a lot on the people I grew up with, and most TCKs or third culture kids who grew up in an international environment tend to be able to adapt or mold into different social groups because, well, we were taught to welcome differences. I feel like I've brought this into adulthood, where some people who aren't used to that, meeting different cultures, might be a bit confused about the adaptability of my personality. For example, maybe I'm super outgoing and sassy with certain groups of people, but a bit more demure or quiet at work. While some might ask me why I'm not being myself, I do consider these different facets of identity to be authentic. People have layers, and I might be very different at work with work friends versus after work friends. And while it sometimes hurt when some people might say I seem fake, true friends accept all versions of you. Lesson number 5. Soft words to a person, firm on the problem. If you're going through a problem with your friend, you might have a tendency to use friendship as an excuse to be super brutally honest with them. I know I fell victim to this before. I know that if I love someone, I tend to be quite forward in my delivery of honesty. Like, honestly, sometimes I have no filter when I should. However, last year I learned to be more mindful. Even the closest friend you may have can get triggered, and that doesn't give you the right, no matter how close the friendship, to perhaps be brutally honest in a direct way, because maybe, just maybe, your friend can't take it anymore. Lesson number 6. Accepting constructive criticism, or perhaps learning to accept constructive criticism. I know we all hate it. My female ego is extremely high when it comes to topics I like to think I am an expert for. But working with a lot of different people last year, from corporate to creatives, taught me to rewire my brain to receive criticism as, yay, I get to receive their constructive feedback. So just remember, stay humble, folks. Instead of thinking, I know what is right or how I do things is the right way, to, okay, this doesn't seem to work for everyone, and I can't wait to see how other people work and learn their ways. Remember, critique is not always about you, but how we can solve the main problem together. You gotta focus on the bigger picture. Your attitude towards the problem is the key. One day, I'm gonna learn how to ride a motorcycle. I've caught a cat. Say hi, Poppy. Poppy. Poppy, stay. Lesson number 7. Healthy people are flexible. There are 3 main attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, which I seem to always attract, and healthy relationships. Healthy people are those secure within themselves, so when they meet barriers or obstacles, they're okay to be fluid and go with the flow. Because I realize that sometimes these kind of healthy attachment styles, they don't put themselves in the center. They're actually happy to take a step back and be more flexible. It's not bending to other people's whims, but it's more like being open to others. Whereas attachment and avoidant, your coping mechanism causes you to chase or draw away. But healthy people are like secure where they're at. So healthy people are flexible. Lesson number 8. You can forgive people and not keep them in your life. Forgiveness is often just for you. I realize now that a lot of people are actually okay with no closure and hate confrontation, which is wild because I haven't encountered any groups like this with this mindset until I hit my mid-20s. But different cultures and different people handle things differently, and I had to accept that sometimes I won't get closure. And enforcing how I resolve conflict on others may burden them. So yeah, do the healing work for yourself. Forgive others, but mainly it's also for yourself. And sometimes closure doesn't make it better. You can forgive others and not keep them in your life. Lesson number 9. Even if you don't agree, you still have to respect other people. Just because you are of a higher career rank, Just because you are of a higher career rank, don't think that you deserve respect from other people. Don't abuse your authority of your position, but instead, when opinions clash, lend an open ear and respect others. Let their voice be heard because you are of a position of authority. I've encountered many different work groups where the boss acts like a peer and lead by example. Sometimes some Asian businesses enforce a hierarchy where they expect you to do all your bidding because you're just a corporate slave. Yet, I've also encountered some corporate leaders who are experts in their field that show maturity, and they would respect even an underling's opinion, even if they don't agree. Those are the ones who I respect. So even if you don't agree, no matter where you are in your career ladder, you still have to respect others. Lesson number 10. Just because it's not your culture, you should still respect it. And this might seem like a no-brainer, but growing up around mixed identities made me question, should I stick through to the Western part of me when I'm hanging out with my Chinese friends? If I try to fit in to be more local, their humor, their dress, and language, yes, I'll be accepted. But sometimes I don't agree with what they're saying, or it doesn't feel like I'm being authentic. Vice versa, I feel like British culture there is a huge emphasis due to racial sensitivity that everyone is really careful with their speech. But in Asia, y'all, they say what they want. We say what we want and they judge who they want, and it's crazy. Nonetheless, I was walking with my friends from the States outdoors and I was wondering why they weren't enforcing themselves or their Americanness, and I say that sensitively, when they were in Malaysia. And I told them that, hey, it's okay, you can dress however you want, you can express who you are, and you don't have to change yourself for others. Yet they had to remind me that it's not being not true to themselves, but like me, they're adapting to situations and knowing personal boundaries of when it is too much to disagree to step away. So, for example, if Malaysia is a Muslim country, perhaps they would dress a bit more modestly, despite me assuring them it's fine, you can dress your sexy self, because you're a foreigner, you're not from here. But they're like, no, 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 I want to respect. And so I won't swear too much while I'm here, or yada, yada, yada. So I thought that was very fascinating. Lesson number 11, you matter. Do you feel happy now? Are you guys people pleasers? Because I used to put others first in situations to the point where it detrimented who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. Not because I wanted to people please, but more because that's how I thought it was to be Christ-like and humble. I am a Christian. But then I realized that you can be those and put boundaries. For example, if I don't feel like going to an event, I won't feel guilty anymore if I say no, or fall into my own mind games thinking like, oh, maybe if I don't go, my friends think that she doesn't want to hang out with us anymore, which has happened before. And though I've had many situations where my abrupt no or absence from an event led to me being ostracized and perhaps misunderstood by friends, I will now keep a more open mind that that might not be the case, that they might not be thinking of me that way. I matter. Do I feel happy to attend and have the capacity to do so? If they're my true friends, perhaps they will understand that I need a little break. In the end, I still try to show up for others, but I do it happily because I care for them. It doesn't burden me because I really want to go, and I will say no if I don't want to. Lesson number 12. Boundaries are important. My best friend from America does this well. If she says her boundary once, she won't repeat it again. Her words hold meaning. Her no means no, her yes means go ahead. In Asian culture, I feel there are a lot of ceremonial expectations. No actually means it's up to you, but if you know better, you should be able to read my mind. Like a courtesy thing. So, yes, do come over actually means please don't. Anyways, now I'm learning which things I can be more lenient with and which I don't compromise. Boundaries are important. Lesson number 13. If they don't text back quick, it's not the end of the world. I'm a hypocrite in this area because if I'm secure with you, I can leave you unopened or read for a long time. And I'm sorry to all my friends who suffered from this, but know that I'm cool with you doing the same. It's chill. I love friendships that we don't speak for a long time, and when we finally do, bam, nothing has changed. Yet I used to and am still a huge anxious attachment style with certain people. If they don't text me back quick, especially if they used to before, like last time they would always text me back immediately, I had to learn that it doesn't mean that they hate you most of the time. I was reflecting back when I was a child when I used to ask my mom why was she so mad at me, and she would tell me, you go think about what you did. She wouldn't explicitly say, but give me the silent treatment. And I still love her. Please don't misunderstand me. She's a wonderful mother. This kind of interaction, however, did make me feel a bit insecure, and I would always have to overthink every scenario or replay our conversations to see where I laid offense. Unfortunately, I may have brought it to my adulthood, but with this day and age, I'm learning to be more mindful and rewiring my brain that number one, if they don't text back immediately, they might really just be busy. And number two, if they don't text back, maybe they just don't feel like replying. And that is okay. Lesson number 14. Okay, we have 10 more, so let's rapid fire them. Lesson 14. Know your worth. If you give money to a fly, they can't appreciate it. Flies just want trash. So, know your worth. Thank you, Cheryl, for that analogy when I needed it the most. Lesson number 15. Health is wealth. I finally got fit last year, due to some medical scares. And let me tell you, once you turn 25, your body legit starts to decay. Like, you used to have like a backup XP pack, but once you hit 25, nada, it's gone. So eat your vegetables, kids. Lesson 16. Money can sometimes buy you happiness. You can always earn money back. But last year, we were really lucky to attend a Taylor Swift concert, which Sabrina Carpenter opened for, and it was worth every dime. I will always remember that concert for life. And sometimes living in a moment is a highlight of your year, and we deserve to have many highlights. But still remember, you are the author of your own happiness. You uh, decide what makes you happy. But true happiness comes from God. Okay, lesson number 17. You can outgrow a place and person, yet still have so much love for them. I realized that I enjoyed living in Paris more than London. Okay, don't come at me, London folks, but I ain't betraying my blood. I just saying that I do enjoy living in Paris more than London. But I also have a strong longing for Penang now in Malaysia. I actually really feel settled here, despite me thinking that perhaps living back in a Western country, I could express myself more. But the people here have taught me so much, and I feel at peace here too. Lesson number 18. Show up by example. I attended some music classes growing up, and I used to think that silly little child me that since we were paying the teacher, I didn't really have to show up and practice. Like, I'm paying you, so like, it was terrible. Like, it's okay not to practice my skills, but now growing up, I have so much respect for teachers now. I do teach as well. I see people teaching their craft, and out of respect, I show up. I regret that it took me so long to appreciate them, but it's true. These people create an aura that demands my respect. And I see their dedication. I see them lead by example when no one else is looking, and I feel motivated to do the same. For example, my friend Li Qi, she works the bar, and she's so injured to the point that I don't know how she's standing anymore. Like her hand, her legs, they're like dead. But she doesn't sit down. You know, she can because she's the boss, but she doesn't sit down. Instead, she still shows up an hour before everyone, even though she's the leader and is the last to leave. Crazy. Very crazy. Because I would crash out. So, Li Qi, if you're listening, please rest more, girl. Lesson 19. Be bold in finding your style. Some people might critique your change and ask who you are trying to be, or tell you that certain styles don't fit your personality. But as a true drama kid, let me tell you, you're allowed to try different things. And if you slay, you slay. If you flop, you flop. It doesn't matter. What matters is you tried. And yes, maybe emo kid with K-pop eyeliner from the 2010s is not a good look today. But if it brings you joy, be bold in expressing yourself. Lesson 20. Everyone copes differently. Give them grace and space to figure things out, even yourself. Lesson 21. Sometimes ghosting is necessary. Harsh truth. I'm always a stickler for let's talk about it. But no. Someone told me sometimes it's better not to reply. And ghosting means no. No reply is still a reply. Lesson number 22. It's okay to reply later and not immediately. Yes, clients might haggle you and you want to show up good, you want to be there. But I once replied a client too fast, and just a slight misuse of terminology caused a huge misunderstanding. There was this huge production shoot, and I was filming another thing at the same time. So I told the client to check with another person on my team, but I realized that wasn't the wisest thing to do because that caused miscommunication and it looked unprofessional on our part. Anyways, I've learned from that. It's okay to reply later and not immediately. Lesson 23. Always give grace to hear what people have to say, even if you're super furious at them. Always give grace if they choose to take space and walk away. If this friend really means a lot to you, you can still love them from a distance. But I hope that you guys don't close off your heart, because I know a lot of people who think that, oh, if they betray me once, that's it. Cold demeanor. But maybe you misunderstand people. So I will always like to think that Perhaps we should all just be kind and give grace to one another because we're only human and we do fail. Lesson 24, final lesson. I know, we're finally here. People who are unsatisfied with their own life might be jealous of you. They might try to talk you down and ridicule you for your efforts, and that's on them, not on you. Those who have made it or are of a higher experience would never look down on your dreams or efforts because they've been there once and they would genuinely try to help you. So don't listen to people who try to tear you down because they're probably unsatisfied with their own life. And someone who has achieved what they want to do will always try to root for you. That's what I've learned. Okay, so that was a really long middle segment, but I hope you guys got something out of that. We're going to cut to our music segment, back to Marianne, with a snippet of her upcoming single. Let go.
Nobody told me I'd be like everybody else, and everybody else is lost like me. I thought I'd be wrecked up in Sunset Boulevard, but Sunset Boulevard was just a dream. Reality is I'm just another face in the crowd, wait on the bottom shelf. I'm just like everybody else, somewhere everybody else has been. Nobody told me I'd be like everybody else, and everybody else is lost like me. I thought I'd be wrecked up in Sunset Boulevard, but Sunset Boulevard was just a dream. Reality is I'm just another face in the crowd, wait on the bottom shelf. I'm just like everybody else, somewhere everybody else has been.
I'm really excited for that song to come out. It's been a while since she's had a new song, so hope you guys support her. New framing. Let me know if you guys prefer this more minimal background than just now. Okay. Now we've come to the fun part of the podcast where we read some of you guys' answers. So I put on Instagram a few days back on what was a lesson that you've learned in 2024. And here are the results. So very exciting. Number 1. It's so important to spend time taking care of yourself and doing things you enjoy. Yes, thank you, Yvonne, for that. I think that it is really important for your own mental health to choose a hobby. I used to joke around with my friends that once you've hit 25, it's like a quarter life crisis thing. People either go into rock climbing, marathon running, or I don't know, baking, stuff like that. We as humans perhaps feel a need to express our frustration or etc. So it's very important, yes, to spend time taking care of yourself and doing things you enjoy. This is from Joseph. Always honor your own voice and protect the little one inside of you. I was spring cleaning for Chinese New Year and I found this picture, this scrapbook thing that I had from school where it was just pictures of me when I was little. I think it was some show and tell thing, and I chose one of the photos and I framed it up in my room to always remember that, hey, yes, I am a grown up, but I need to remember who I was, like my dreams from before, and I need to protect my little self because sometimes we can be very harsh to ourselves, and you wouldn't do that to your own child, or you would want the best for someone you love. So you should love yourself and protect the little one inside of you. Yeah. This is from Athira, my love. Athira says, uncertainties just means opportunities to choose from. That is true. A closed door is a blessing in disguise. An unknown horizon just means that there are much more adventures to choose from out there. This is from Dana. To not give an F about what other things you should be doing or wanting. Now, this was very hard for me because I used to care about reputation a lot, not just to represent God, represent my family, and sometimes I just want to quit everything and just do what I want to, but I sometimes feel like I don't. And that had crippled me quite a bit. I used to think that, oh, maybe I was too lame of doing this, or what if I dance this K-pop dance and it's too promiscuous and then people misunderstand. Anyways, yeah, I don't think you should think too much of what others think, what you should do or what you should want, because in the end, not a lot of people are watching. I'm sorry if that's the brutal truth, but the world doesn't revolve around you, and if they do want to look at you, well, don't let that affect or stop you from what you want to do. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if they want to watch you, then give them drama to watch, but no. That is 2023 behavior. Don't do it for the plot. We are not doing things for the plot anymore. We are here in 2020 thrive. I can't believe I just said that. Okay, next, this is from Bernadine. Bernadine shares that it is all right to ask every question, seeking to understand, to uncover, to discover, and to love. Yes, I think we should ask more questions. I often wonder with introverts, is it because y'all are scared to ask things that you guys don't like? I don't know, but it's okay to ask questions. There are some people who won't react in anger and actually welcome y'all. Chloe shares that in 2024 she learned that unrequited love, especially after healing from a previous love, can teach you more things. Now that is very romantic. I would love to get her on the podcast and share more about that. This is from Myra. To trust in God no matter what. Amen, sis. Amen. Whatever you do, don't lose God. Let me try to see if I can catch the cat. No, she's too far. All right, the last one that we have that for today is from Erin, and she said friendship boundaries. And I think we talked about that just now in the middle of our podcast. But yes, friendship boundaries are important. And, you know, just because they're your friend doesn't mean that you should just let them all the time, like let them walk over you or let them treat you that way. Yes, you love them, so maybe you let them, but don't hold it within, like don't pent it up. I went through a lot of friendship breakups recently, and people ask me like, I thought you guys were fighting, why are you still friends with them, they did you so dirty, or maybe they said that about me. But honestly, if I really truly believe you're my friend, I would try to make it work. Like, I would chase you down because I think that the friendship is worth pursuing. But I'll always be like, okay, if you really don't want to be friends anymore, then that's your decision and I'll respect it. But for me, there will always be a way out. Forgiveness might be one step, but let's talk about it. Okay, so that was the Q&A poll. And other than that, for time capsule purposes, I'm just going to share some things that I'm currently obsessed with. This includes Can't Rush Greatness by Central C. Oh my goodness. I'm only listening to Central C, mostly listening to him because, oh, cat. Kitty. Hi, puppy. Puppy, you okay? Yeah, I'm mostly listening to Central C right now because I'm following Mads and her podcast, and I just find her very entertaining on TikTok. So Mads is Central C's ex-girlfriend, and he just did an entire album where a lot of the songs spilled the tea on that, and I'm kind of enjoying the UK rap moment. I am not a rap fan though. Like, I would never say that I actually know rap. I think that's disrespectful for the genuine rap fans out there. So please don't come after me. But I'm also currently obsessed with Keke Palmer and Tyla. Something about these women are just like, ooh, and Kalani. Their music just speaks to me. Flo? Anyone Flo fans? Slay. Sunkiss. My gosh, I follow Issa Sung on YouTube, and I never knew that her brother could actually sing, and his Mandarin pop actually slaps. A bit of a sidetrack, Gracie Abrams. one of my go-to artists from last year's rap, and Griff. Oh my goodness, let me tell you, when I am predicting that she will be the next big thing. Before it was Sabrina Carpenter, then it was Gracie, then it was Chappell Rowan, not in that order, please don't quote me. But I can't begin to tell you how much I love Griff. I saw her concert in Paris last year, and she's still quite underground, or I don't know, not as big as she was. But now she opened for Taylor Swift. She's now touring with Sabrina Carpenter, and Griff's charisma on stage, you guys need to watch her. She's gonna be big in 2025. God's got plans for this woman. Other than that, this year I have so many friends who are getting married. I think at least 5 this year, and 3 proposals in the last month. This month, sorry, it's still January. And I'm just ready to be here for them, folks. Like, I'm gonna be that bridesmaid or sister partying with the homies. It's gonna be a good time. No rush on my own love life, because that's a tragedy and another story for another time. I'm kidding. There's nothing going on. Chinese New Year is also around the corner. So I hope you all manage to return home to your families, depending when this is coming out. And that's it for tonight's Midnight Radio podcast, everyone. Oh, wait, shout out to Ian and Co. I just bought kimchi from you guys. I'm gonna try it with ramen later, and so you guys should check them out. They wrote my name and personalized the jar, and it's really cute so that my family won't eat them in the fridge. It's adorable. Please support them if you are in Penang. And until then, I hope everyone that you stay safe. God bless y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. And here to wrap out our night is Marianne again. So, enjoy!